Let's get straight to it. Do you really enjoy what you think you enjoy? Or have you just been trained to believe that you do? Every time you reach for your phone without thinking, every time your thumb scrolls on autopilot, you are not choosing, you're reacting. And that difference right there is the line between freedom and control. Think about how often you consume things that don't even interest you. You open tabs you don't need, laugh at things that don't move your soul, and eat when your body isn't even asking for food. That's not enjoyment. That's conditioning. That's a pattern that has been repeated so many times that you stop questioning it. The truth is harsh, but it needs to be said. You've been programmed to chase pleasure, but never to actually feel fulfilled. You've been trained to keep reaching, keep scrolling, keep consuming, but never arriving. And the scariest part is that most people don't even realize it's happening. We live in a time where pleasure is always available. It's fast, it's easy, and it's everywhere. But if pleasure is so accessible, why are people more empty than ever before? Why does satisfaction fade so quickly? Why does the hunger keep coming back stronger? Because what you're being fed is not real fulfillment. It's a cycle, a loop, a trap designed to keep you chasing the next hit instead of building something meaningful. You are living in a world where you don't need to be forced into submission. You're entertained into it. There are no chains, no visible walls, no guards. Instead, there are endless options, endless content, endless noise, and all of it is fighting for your attention. Every notification, every vibration, every flash on your screen is a hook. It's not random, it's designed to pull you in, to keep you engaged, to keep you dependent. And the more you respond, the deeper you go. What used to be food is now just a quick hit of pleasure loaded with sugar and chemicals. What used to be connection is now shallow validation measured in likes and views. What used to be learning is now passive consumption that leaves you numb instead of informed. This is not an accident. This is a system that thrives when you are distracted, because a distracted mind doesn't question. A distracted mind doesn't build. A distracted mind consumes. And while you're busy chasing these small, temporary pleasures, your real life is slowly slipping away. Your focus weakens, your discipline fades, your ability to sit in silence disappears. You become restless, impatient, and unable to deal with anything that requires effort. That's the real damage. Not the pleasure itself, but what it takes away from you. Because the more you depend on instant gratification, the less you can tolerate discomfort. And discomfort is where growth lives. Without it, you stay stuck. Look around. Relationships are breaking because people expect everything to be easy. Dreams are abandoned because they took too long. Goals are forgotten because they don't give quick results. This is what happens when pleasure becomes too easy. It loses its value. And when everything feels easy, nothing feels meaningful. Here's the truth most people don't want to hear. The easier it is to feel pleasure, the harder it becomes to feel happiness. That's the paradox. Your brain was never meant to live in a constant state of reward. When everything feels good all the time, nothing stands out. Nothing feels special. Everything becomes flat. So what do people do? They increase the dose. More scrolling, more watching, more eating, more stimulation. But it never works, because the problem isn't how much you consume, it's how dependent you've become. And while all of this is happening, something else is being taken from you: your ability to think. A mind that is constantly stimulated cannot reflect. It cannot focus. It cannot question. It becomes reactive instead of intentional. And that is the ultimate form of control. Because when you stop thinking deeply, you stop seeing clearly. When you stop seeing clearly, you stop challenging anything. And when that happens, you become easy to manage. You don't need force to control a person who is already distracted. You don't need censorship when people don't care enough to seek truth. You don't need chains when people willingly stay inside their comfort zones. That's the real trap. Not physical control, but mental surrender. Now here's where it gets real. Understanding this is not enough. Knowing the truth doesn't change anything unless you act on it. Your brain has already been trained. Your attention has already been divided. Your patience has already been weakened. So the question is not whether this affects you. It already does. The real question is what you're going to do about it. You don't need to remove pleasure from your life. That's not the solution. The solution is control. The ability to decide when enough is enough. The strength to say no when your mind is begging for another hit. Because every time you resist that impulse, you take a piece of your power back. Every time you sit in silence instead of filling it with noise, you rebuild your mind. Every time you choose discipline over comfort, you grow. This is not about perfection. It's about awareness in action. The people who truly succeed are not the most gifted. They are the most disciplined. They are the ones who can delay gratification, who can endure discomfort, who can stay focused when everything around them is pulling them away. And that ability is not something you are born with. It's something you build, one decision at a time. So the next time you feel that urge to escape into distraction, pause, just for a moment. Observe it. Don't run from it. Don't feed it immediately. Ask yourself a simple question. Who is in control right now? If the answer is not you, then something needs to change. You can continue living on autopilot, chasing quick pleasure and calling it happiness. Or you can wake up and start taking control of your actions, your attention, and your life. Because make no mistake, this is about ownership. Ownership of your mind, your time, and your future. The system will not stop. The distractions will not disappear. The temptation will always be there, but your response to it is what defines you. Every small decision matters. Every moment you choose discipline over impulse, you are breaking the cycle. You are stepping out of the trap. And over time, those small decisions become a new way of living. A life where you're no longer controlled by every urge, every notification, every fleeting desire. A life where pleasure is no longer a cage, but a reward. So I'll leave you with this. Will you keep feeding the system that weakens you, or will you build the strength to rise above it? Because the moment you take control, everything changes. I hope you think deeply about these words I shared with you and make the change. Lance Scurv out. On to the next one. Peace.